Good afternoon, St. John's. Pastor John here in the great office of the Mind-Seeking Wisdom. Yeah, right. This is where all the accidents really happen. I'm glad you joined me. It's lunchtime, and I just want to do a quick recap of what we talked about yesterday if you missed it. Yesterday, our message was on the rewritten life on Jacob and Esau. And we know that Jacob and Esau were brothers. They were twin brothers. They came from the mother Rebekah. Esau was born first, and Jacob, as he was coming out, had the heel of Esau, wanting to pull him back in, saying, hey, wait a minute, I want to be first. Because basically being firstborn has its perks. So as the story goes, Jacob was known as I want it now, or I want it then. In other words, he was called the grabber, or the deceiver, or the swindler, because he swindled Esau out of his birthrights. And by doing this, he gained what he wanted, but he also lost a brother. Well, in the midst of that story, Rebekah sent Jacob away to live with her brother, but Jacob still wanted more. And so he knew that he had to come home and had to face the consequences. Well, on his trek back home, the story goes that he wrestled with God. And Jacob was so full of himself or prideful that he asked God a blessing and say, well, what name should I call you? He says, I don't care. Just pick one. Call me the deceiver. Call me the swindler. Call me whatever you want to. And at the end, Jacob and God wrestled. And by the end of that, Jacob knew that his life was not what it should be. And so he allowed God to change him. And God changed his name to Israel. And so that means the one who wrestles with God. But in the midst of all that, the couple lessons that we learned from this story is we learned that words matter. For example, the names that Jacob was given when he was born, they matter, and they kind of shaped his destiny. And we also learned that getting what we want right now, that instant gratification, isn't always good. That's not what our life needs to be. And so we have to look at where our life is going. And when we get to that point, no matter how much we feel doomed in this life, that God can still rewrite it if we let him, if we give him the pen, that God has the power to start us down a new path, a path of transformation, showering us with his grace and his power and love along the way. And that's the recap of what we learned yesterday in the Rewritten Life by Jessica Lagrone on Jacob and Esau. I hope you can join us next week if you haven't been able to. If there's any prayers that you may need, let us know. Give us a call or send us an email. We'd be more than happy to pray with you. I'd be more than happy to pray for you or with you at any time. So give us a call here. Hope to see you then. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed week. And don't forget to let God have the pen and rewrite your life. God bless. Go in peace.